Blockchain Mastery Podcast. My name is Titilayo Oyinso. Now, blockchain technology has already proven its potential to revolutionize various industries. But the magic really happens when different blockchain networks seamlessly communicate, seamlessly collaborate with each other. Enter the concept of inoperability, a crucial element that holds the key to unlocking the full potential of blockchain. Joining us today is a distinguished expert in the field, John Fáwọlé. Now, he's going to be our guide as we delve into the importance of interoperability rather, and the pressing need for standardization in the world of blockchain. He is a Web3 content writer. He's content lead with more than 4 years of professional experience, and he founded Blockchain Alpha. That's a newsletter with over 200 active subscribers, and he's also a senior technical writer as well. When it comes to marketing strategies for blockchain based solution providers, John Fáwọlé is the person to speak to. It's great to have you on the Blockchain Mastery podcast. Welcome.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Titi. And this is I like this initiative. Get lets people know about blockchain beyond the facial Bitcoin
Mm,
frenzy that most people know, or flipping NFT. I mean, getting to know kind of more deeper and more interesting stuff about chains. And yeah, thank you
mm.
for setting this up. This is nice. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, we've been on for quite a bit now. We've been on for about a year doing this, and we're
Wow.
streaming live now on YouTube, and we're also streaming on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. So, as many people as we can reach, we are trying to reach one by one. Now you
That's
need to let me go into the background of the topic a little bit more, because the blockchain landscape is rapidly expanding. There's
really.
different networks tailored for specific use cases and industries, but the lack of interoperability between these networks has presented a major challenge, and it's, in my opinion, hindering blockchain's true transformative power. So can you imagine a world where data, where assets, where smart contracts could just seamlessly flow into different blockchains, empowering people, empowering users, developers, unparalleled freedom, efficiency? This is the promise that is out there when you talk interoperability, or am I right? Or am
Yeah,
I
definitely.
wrong? Talk to me about this. How do we first of all begin to understand the possibilities?
All right, thank you. So it is the case that many people want to do different things. You know, there is no single script for how a blockchain should be or what blockchains should do. For example, and most times it depends on people's background. There are some guys that came from Latin America side, and they want to see more of the humanitarian aspect of blockchain being used for helping humanity and everything. They call themselves Celu. We have other people like, let's say, Hangoran. They are very um, particular about climate change, that even though you want to do blockchain, don't make it hazardous to the environment, and they are very heavy on that um, you know belief. So we have stuff like Algorand and several other philosophical backings behind all these chains. And the thing is that now it is normal for humans or platforms to be different. But at the end of the day, I mean, everyone should still converge at a point and reach a common goal. And at this point, it is too early for the entire industry to work in isolation. I mean, if you're on Twitter, you off of maximalism. Like, we have guys who are Ethereum maxis. If you say anything about Solana, whether you are actually right or wrong, they really don't care to know. They are just like, anything non Ethereum is bad,
Mm,
anything non their chain is bad or substandard or not, technically. For example, if you can notice Polkadot guys, I mean,
mm.
okay, this
Yeah,
can
go
sound
ahead.
somehow. Polkadot guys are actually technically arrogant most times. They believe Polkadot is the best, and really, to some extent, they are very correct. I mean, technically speaking,
But it's still the newest. It's the newest, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
People like new things. They like when fresh things come about. But this is a
Fresh stuff.
whole new language. Polkadot is a whole new language. So it's still going to take a while for people to get involved in Polkadot.
Yeah, and adopt it as
Yeah.
it
Mm.
should. So I mean, but as a person, I find the idea of I find the idea of running a chain in a form of maximalism stuff. I find it's kind of unnecessary,
Mm.
attractive, and that's the reason I'm more bullish on interoperability. I mean, even though these chains are different,
Mm.
there should still be middle ground for everyone, to work together. And we have various people, various protocols working towards this aim.
So
And
now
I'm happy that, I mean, people are getting more interested.
I have to ask you to break it down, though. Explain what blockchain interoperability means and why it's crucial for the blockchain ecosystem for them to be able to interact. So right now, everyone is owning their blockchain. They're staying on their own lane, but they're also making their blockchains true calling or true direction or vision come to life, but they're all on their
Yeah.
own lane. So why is it important for them to interact?
Okay, okay. Thank you. So, first of all, one of the reasons it is important for, chains to interact is that for the benefit of the users. Let's use natural or current tech to explain it. Let's say you are using Wells Fargo, or let me use the Nigerian banking setting. Let's say you are using what was it called? GT Bank, and you want to send money to someone with a Stanbic Bank. That's not a perfect example, but on the surface, nowadays, or right from time, GT Bank has had this collaboration with other banks such that even if a customer is sending stuff to their, you know, other bank, which is not on their platform, the money will still go through. And that's the same thing we are trying to, reach with blockchain. Currently, there are some transactions you can make blockchain to blockchain. It won't go through. I'm not sure if I've tried them before. For example, if you try to send probably Cello USD
Mm,
to Optimism,
mm.
it wouldn't go straight. You will probably have to use a bridge or something
Or
like
an
that, and that is,
exchange.
yeah, or an exchange. But then it's not really
It's not convenient.
easier. I mean,
It's not
it's not
convenient.
convenient.
So now the issue
If
is,
you want me to,
isn't
yeah,
this
please go on.
what the exchanges are using to make their money? Doesn't interoperability then take away money from the Binances and the KuCoins of this world?
Okay, 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 okay. Well, let me speak like a native Ethereum guy. Well, it is the case that we shouldn't really use exchanges, centralized exchanges,
Hmm.
because there is an argument we still have, and we are currently having, that it defeats the actual argument of blockchain itself. I mean, I want to be anonymous. I want to just do stuff on chain without anybody noticing who I am,
Mm,
where I'm from.
mm,
But I still use centralized exchanges.
mm.
My name on Binance is still John. They know my stuff. They know where I live, and
Sure.
to a large extent, it still breaches that centralization ethos.
Mm.
So I mean,
But once it
I
leaves,
actually
but
am
once
a
it
proponent of
leaves
the
the
fact that we
exchange,
shouldn't actually
but
need
once it leaves
exchanges.
the exchange, if for instance you're just using it for exchanging purposes and you've taken it off, or maybe you put it to cold storage, for instance, and then from a cold storage you decide to use it for whatever transaction you want to use it for, it's
Hello.
still, did you hear what I said? Okay, did you hear what I said? Are you with me? Hello? Oh,
I
please
didn't
don't
get
tell
that.
me. Okay, I'm saying, what if you decided to take it off Binance and take it into cold storage, for instance? Once it's on a cold storage, it's offline. You can still use it to engage in
Yeah.
any other transaction you want, right? So it's just for exchange purposes, right? Isn't that enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do I still need to have a central station like in New York where all the trains meet? Why? Why do I need that?
It is, yeah, yeah. What you just said now is probably for very simple transactions, and beyond transactions, when we talk about probably chain interactions, let's say as a dev now,
Mm,
you want to build something that will connect two chains, or let's say I'm building a smart contract that will make people probably pay in BUSD, pay
mm.
in USDT, and pay in probably what's optimism is um yeah, I wanted to remember the name of this chain, Avalanche. Yeah, Avax.
Okay.
And I want to receive payment in Avax, meaning like three separate chains.
Okay.
Getting to integrate them all into my contract is quite
It's long.
a lot.
It's
Yeah.
long. It's long. So essentially, for those that are just tuning in, we're talking about the interoperability when it comes to blockchain, and that's simply referring to the ability of blockchains to communicate with other blockchains. But the foundation of this whole idea is this cross-chain messaging protocol. It sort of enables blockchain to read data from or write data to other blockchains. And some people see this as a risk. It's like you're risking, essentially, in layman's language, your code, because you're going to have to release some aspects of your code in order to be able to interact with other blockchains, making it suddenly less secure. But let's talk about the challenges that faced by developers when it comes to dealing with those that cannot interact. You've already mentioned it now. It seems like timing and stress of waiting for those transactions to go from exchange to exchange or blockchain to blockchain takes time. But is there any other thing apart from that that makes it a disadvantage? Talk to us.
Okay. The other thing I kind of find as a disadvantage is still difference in infrastructural stack. For instance, like a couple of blockchains have different ways they were engineered. I mean, from the protocol level perspective. So the fact that their architecture is different definitely makes their cross-chain communication to be more difficult.
So that those difficulties are still related to time and speed of your actions, transactions, right?
Yeah, yeah, and the technical underpinning of the chain when they were, probably building the protocol, the specs that their protocol engineers preferred.
Mm. So basically, we can also ask about the issue of data exchange now for all you Ethereum people that are all about smart contracts now. The issue of data, for instance, we've noted that smart contracts can be used, well, blockchains can be used to store things like information about healthcare, your medical history, for instance, or the details of people in a particular age group, in a particular sector of society, and stuff like that. So the information being shared on the blockchain and how it's um, how it's approached, how the information and communication of the data is exchanged. Talk to us about that seamlessness that you're looking for. What exactly is it you are hoping to achieve?
Okay, so what we are hoping to achieve is, to communicate, to send call messages or to send data across chains, possibly because, like I mentioned, it is kind of tedious to communicate, cross chain. But in terms of data, I feel it still links back to what we were saying. The same issue that cross chain transactions are facing is still the same issue that cross chain data exchange is facing.
But let's talk real use cases now. Can we get some real use cases of successful cross-chain activities?
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been following the news lately, and now it's easier to build stuff, you know, that are interoperable using some protocols like Axela. And the use case of that is that you can basically send anything, or in terms of transaction or probably a message, you can send them seamlessly without minding the technical differences of blockchains. Just leverage these protocols and you have your way. So like they help, and on the application level, it makes it easier for the users to do anything without even knowing about interoperability. Like they have done the heavy lifting down there.
So now I'm thinking about scalabilities. Everyone wants their chain to expand, wants it to get bigger, wants it to grow, wants more users, wants more access. Everyone wants it to function in a bigger, larger capacity. Now, the question would now be this issue of security concerns and whether interoperability has an impact on scalability. Does it make it harder for blockchain to get larger, even though it makes the function smoother?
Okay, okay. First thing about expansion of chains is that it's similar to what fintechs were facing a couple of years ago. And the thing is that there will definitely be competition, and the larger snakes will eat the smaller snakes. So, there was a time fintech companies were about, financial inclusion, banking the unbanked, and but the truth was they were not actually banking the unbanked; they were collecting one another's customers. The same thing applies to, blockchain, and the thing is that even though the issue of interoperability is there, I actually don't feel that is a major reason that will probably make some blockchains to thrive more. It is only, I believe, it is only an added advantage. The core of a lot of blockchains are still questionable in terms of how they are actually attracting mainstream users. Most of them are focusing on those who are in the space, and they are scrambling the percentage among themselves. So I feel what they should do, rather than being heavy on interoperability, what blockchain should focus on is their marketing strategies to acquire entirely new set of users, and groom them, and make them use their chain. I feel that's still a more sustainable stuff than, because if you don't have enough users yourself, who are you even trying to cater for in terms of interoperability? Like,
Mm, mm. Now, one of the reasons why I like certain wallets is the access to decentralized apps, dApps. And I'm always wondering, what I would have done if this innovation hadn't come to be. So now with decentralized apps on blockchains like Ethereum, it's a lot more easy. They say, I've never tried it myself. They say it's easier to integrate dApps on the Ethereum blockchain. I could be wrong. Um, so, in other words, that could lean on the side of there are some blockchains that are easier to adapt to than others. For whatever reason, I don't have the technical jargon. But then, this issue of interoperability, do you think that would affect um, a blockchain's ability to apply dApps to their blockchain?
apply dApps to their blockchain. Okay,
Mm,
it depends on probably the dApp you want to build. If the dApp you want to build will require a couple of functionalities that will rest on probably one or more chains, then I feel interoperability might probably get to be an issue. But then, from another perspective, I actually don't feel it should be, you know, an issue, especially for example now if the chains you're trying to connect are EVM chains. That means you really don't need to do much of heavy lifting, and as a founder of something, if you can cater for those in the EVM community ecosystem, I mean you are good to go. So even though it's an issue, it's still not an issue. I mean, technically not
mm.
technically.
So technically, it could help foster innovation,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's better for innovation than not, right?
Yeah, 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 definitely.
It's better rather than not. Okay, all right
Yeah.
then. Is it the same in the DeFi ecosystem?
Okay. I mean, this for me, I feel this is probably where we need to be more bullish on interoperability because I mean, DeFi guys don't really have time to care about why your DApp doesn't work for different chains. They simply want to just trade, make money, send stuff, and have their way. So, and even I myself, there were a couple of times I wanted to do some stuff on chain, and I couldn't because the chains were different, and I had to use a bridge, then come back, do what I intended to do in the first place. So I feel solving the issue of interoperability will actually enhance DeFi experience, and it will make nowadays, or not even nowadays. If I feel I were to be honest, using DeFi sometimes might be a bit difficult for someone who is maybe not in Web3 or is not a dev. I mean, you could even get some error messages that are in pure JSON or JavaScript, and you'd be like, "Bro, I'm not a dev," and So I feel if this is actually this barrier is broken to be a big stepping stone to more people, coming to DeFi.
So now I have to ask. It of course it gets deeper and deeper as we grow, but there are possibly some initiatives currently working on establishing some sort of standards for blockchain interoperability. Have you heard of any of these? Can you share any with us?
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. The one I can remember currently is Axela.
Mm,
Axela is working towards. One of my friends still used Axela to build a cross-chain dApp. Was it around a month ago? He was showing me the GitHub repo. So Axela helps with inter operability and cross-chain communication. I was also
mm,
hearing about this XTMG. It's
mm,
from I feel optimism. They help with cross-chain messaging. It's just more like WhatsApp on chain. That's
mm,
from the little I read about it anyway.
mm.
So yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, people are building stuff, and it's amazing to see this stuff. So if you want to build anything cross-chain wise and everything, you don't have to
Mm.
build everything from ground up. People have done the heavy lifting already.
So Alexa XTMG. Let me check one of those out. Let me see. XTMG. All right. So I have here XTMG command, XTMG help,
But try
XTMG starter
Axela. I'm very sure of Axela.
Axela. All right, got you. All right, maybe I just haven't got the correct spelling, possibly. Alexa, Angela or Alexa?
Alexa. Axela
Alexa.
rather.
Okay. ALAX.
Axelar. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Now I got it. Gotcha. All right. For fantastic. Okay. So obviously moving forward, we need to talk about some of the um potential risks and vulnerabilities that maybe people haven't considered yet. You've already talked a bit about bridges now, in achieving cross-chain capabilities, but those potential risks and vulnerabilities associated with interconnected blockchain networks. Let's actually touch on some of them. What is the worst that could happen?
The worst that can happen is that hackers will probably take everything within probably the pull away. The problems that bridges face is the same problem that cross-chain protocols or cross-chain dApps are bound to face. You know, you are more like building stuff across. It has to be compatible with a couple of chains, and not only compatible, it has to be secure. And the issue of security is very heavy in Web3, and so basically, security is the main issue, and nobody can assure you of security. They can only audit your dApp or protocol for you, but then audit is not a 100% ticket that you can't never be hacked. So everything
Mm.
in this space is a risk here. And I
Mm,
hope, and I actually
mm,
feel we shouldn't hide it from people. So if you are playing here, you're playing a risky game, and you should do it to your chest.
mm. Do it with your full chest. Oh. All right. So 40 plus blockchains, 2 billion transactions, 70 validators. Wow. Work with any asset on any chain. This seems
These
almost
guys have done the
impossible.
heavy lifting.
It feels almost impossible. Wow.
They're very good devs.
Even BNB?
Yeah, yeah. Almost every
Okay.
almost every big chain. They support almost every big chain and token.
Okay. All right. So it doesn't feel so I'm not sure what the user interface looks like. Um because I'm just seeing the main site. But is it easy? Okay, this is it, right? This is the interface.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Fantastic. But hey, we're gonna have to. Anyone watching now, please DYOR, do your own
Research,
research,
definitely.
please, before you jump on any
Product.
of these applications, any of these products. This seems amazing, and as something I'm definitely gonna check out and try. Probably download the app and see, and just troubleshoot a little. But please, 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 DYOR, do your own
Research.
research.
Sure.
All right, then. We have with us John Fáwọlé. And if you're just tuning in, you are watching and you're listening to the Blockchain Mastery Podcast. My name is Titilaya Oyinso, and today we are talking about the interoperability between different blockchain networks and the issue of need for standardization. I want to touch on this issue of standardization. Should there be a standard? Should there be a template that everybody should work with? Or do you think this limits us? Talk to me.
Okay. First of all, I actually feel there should be, standards and frameworks, that will make it easier for everyone to build together. Yeah, like for example, in the Ethereum community, we were having an issue some years ago about token standardization and everything, and that was when stuff like ERC20 came about, and it still serves as a major standard till today. So if you can have something like ERC20 across other chains, I feel it really be a good idea and to make building stuff easier. And that's
Mm,
the first stuff. Another way I feel we can enhance interoperability is what's it called? Making other chains um, be able to compile popular languages. For example, I was very happy
mm,
with what Solana did recently. Like they created a language Solang. You can probably now use Solidity to write contracts on Solana. So I am a dev. I don't know Rust. They use Rust in Solana's community, but I know Solidity as an Ethereum guy.
mm,
So now I can use
mm.
my knowledge of Solidity to build on Ethereum. And in a way, their compiler is becoming friendlier with the Ethereum
Mm.
virtual machine. And with that, I kind
Okay.
of see a future that the differences in the stack of these
Mm.
chains won't really be too obvious. As a result, interoperability will be probably seamless, or even not what we will know as interoperability. It will be so seamless. Yeah.
So you're trying to find pigeon for blockchain. That's what you're trying to find.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like a pigeon language for block. That's what you're
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah. That would kind of, all over. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
whether you are Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, you'll
Whatever
understand
you are,
exactly.
you can just speak it and, yeah, simple
Okay,
friendly.
all right. Well, definitely that would prove for seamless transactions and seamless interactions, and hopefully expansion when it comes to
Yeah.
blockchain. But before we wrap up, let's find out what your vision is for the future of blockchain interoperability. What role do you think is going to play in the broader scheme of things? Africa, the globe. Talk to us.
Okay. As against many critics, I've heard a couple of arguments against blockchain and yada 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 yada. So as against many critics, I opine that in the future, okay, it's already happening anyway. Like blockchain would be a major tech, that the world will be using. And the beautiful thing is that in the nearest future, folks will be using blockchain without even knowing they are using blockchain. We will permeate that seamlessly. And with chains researching, changing their stack, aligning their stack now, I see a future where chains will be friendlier. You know, chains will be
Hmm.
friendlier. They'll be doing stuff together, and if there is this singularity of vision among them, I believe interoperability is something of course we are working towards, and it's something we'll probably achieve, to a very large extent. And if we have that, trust me, the whole technicality of blockchain will be abstracted. Like, you don't need to know that you are transferring to Solana before you send to Solana. You don't need to know that you are sending to Avax before you send to Avax. Like, you just probably use any token, send anywhere, choose anything, and it's to be very similar. Just like the way people use euros, pounds, dollars, and naira. You just know you have naira, you want to get dollar. I mean, just something basic and you are done. You don't need to know the technicality, the dev side of thing. And with that, I feel blockchain will sound less like a jargon and be more relatable to people. As a result, they'll use blockchain stuff more.
I'm checking out your blockchain alpha.tech website here. You need to take us through it as quickly as possible. What is blockchain alpha all about?
Okay, thank you. So, I mean, this is I noticed the problem, and what's it called? I don't like complaining about things. For example, I've my mom doesn't use blockchain. I kind of discovered that a lot of people still find this stuff to be extremely technical and unfriendly. When you talk about, and there are different stuff in the space that even you as a dev, sometimes you have to probably be on your 2 feet before you really get them. And I noticed a couple of protocols that are building amazing things, yet they can't communicate with their audience. Everything is still jargons. Everything is still not structured. They are not making revenues. A couple of blockchain startups folded up this year, and sadly. So I noticed. I mean, there is a marketing problem. So, and that's what I'm solving. Blockchain Alpha is a technical marketing
Okay.
agency. So you have a blockchain product you want to sell, or that
Mm,
you're offering to people, you're offering to protocols. We help you,
mm,
get the message out there, put out a
mm.
strategy, and essentially make you get users and make revenues. We have been doing that, and for half a year now, and yeah, it's been amazing.
All right. I'm so pleased and interested in finding out more about this. I'm checking you out on LinkedIn now. Do I just search for John Fáwọlé
Yeah,
on LinkedIn?
yeah, John Fáwọlé.
Okay, there seems to be quite a few John Fáwọlés here.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. I feel mine is the only one with musical Yoruba that critical marks.
oh, okay. So
Let me
I'm
kind of
searching
search
for
for
you
it.
now. I'm not exactly seeing it, but
I'll
there's
share
quite a
with you
few.
now.
All right, I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
You many.
Um, I'll check it out. Maybe it's the actual marks that will differentiate. Okay, I've got you. Now, let's see. So there's a reason why I'm reaching out because I know that there are quite a lot of people who want to build products on blockchain or have probably started building products on blockchain and probably didn't know exactly where to begin. Um, and are probably wondering how they would sell it anyway. And now you've given them a solution. You've given them a marketing platform to do that. I think my all my LinkedIn messages are showing here. Now, wow, wait to.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to tell you that it's
All right,
automatic. So
it is. It is. All right. So Web3 technical writer, content lead, marketing strategist for devs. Thank you so much for joining us, John
it's
Fáwọlé
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Mastery. All right then. Make sure you stay with us. It's still all about blockchain and the possibilities for this amazing technology, the opportunities and possibilities for the future of blockchain. That's what we talk about here on the Blockchain Mastery Podcast. If you would like to be on the podcast, it's very easy. All you have to do is send us an email. That's Dynamite Podcast Network at gmail.com. Dynamite Podcast Network at gmail.com. Just send us an email and we will get back to you. Before we go, we have some blockchain news as always for you. And there's always something happening in the world of blockchain that we love to update you on. Now, let's see. Which of these stories will I share with you today? Let's see. All right, now, so one of the things we've often heard from different governments all around the world is the fact that crypto is being used by questionable individuals. Now, there apparently, according to TRM Labs, there was some intelligence about crypto usage by ISIS. Yeah, I just thought I should share this, and apparently it linked significant on-chain connections across these groups who were pro-ISIS fundraising campaigns, apparently in Syria. And now this article was published on July 21st, and the report indicated that there were mounting on-chain evidence from the past 12 months that pro-ISIS networks in Tajikistan, Indonesia, and Afghanistan had utilized crypto to help facilitate their operations. Now, this is very troubling, of course, and according to TRM, a majority of the transactions were linked to the use on to the use of Tether on the Tron network. Now, on the 21st of July, Cointelegraph covered a presentation by Tara Anderson, Elliptic's former head of technical crypto advisory. Now, she emphasized that Tron and Tether were popular assets for illicit use. She also noted that criminals were shifting away from Bitcoin in favor of stable coins. Anderson also explained that decentralized exchanges had deep liquidity and really good volume, making it super easy to launder funds. Now, a significant number of individuals using Indonesian-based exchanges were sending those funds to addresses as allegedly associated with pro-ISIS fundraising campaigns in Syria. Now, that's where I'm going to stop with that particular story because, yeah, this is what a lot of people were afraid of. But this is not to say that actual banks were not also used for the same purposes. This is not to say that actual fiat currency is not being used for the same purposes. This is just to say that in the interest of transparency, TRM Labs, which is like an intelligence arm for Bitcoin blockchain, had to reveal this and give this information to the public. All right, now apparently the Nigerian Central Bank adds NFC upgrade to e-Naira for contactless payments. Despite the former governor's ousting nearly 2 months ago, the CBN continues to be committed to its central bank digital currency (CBDC) project and is showing no indication of abandoning it. Interesting stuff. According to a report by local news outlet The Sun, the central bank recently enhanced CBDC mobile app by incorporating near field communication technology, that's NFC. Now, this upgrade enables mobile devices and payment terminals to interact when in close proximity, facilitating convenient and contactless e-Naira payments. Now, despite previous versions incorporating QR codes, the CBN reportedly emphasizes the latest edition of the NFC technology and how it will play a crucial role in boosting the adoption rates of the CBDC. Now, Joseph Angaye, the deputy director of the CBN's risk management department, reportedly revealed that the banking regulator is committed to utilizing innovative technology to enhance the user experiences. So now embracing this idea of using this cutting edge technology, he also reported revealing that the CBDC would be equipped with programmability features, which is good for all the devs out there. And he explained that these programmability features would kind of limit CBDC's payments exclusively to designated government programs. In other words, reducing the risk of fraud. He was explaining more and he said it allows for targeting fund allocation to farmers, for instance, for specific uses like tool acquisition. This the same way essentially blockchain works. The funds transferred into eNaira wallets become non-divertible for any unrelated purposes, ensuring that the intended use is strictly adhered to. Now, that is some good news. We are moving forward with that, and we will be giving you more information as it comes to us. But for now, this is how we wrap it up on the Blockchain Mastery podcast. There is a new podcast I'm working on, and it's very dear to my heart. I would love for you to answer this question. Are you ready to unlock the secrets to financial empowerment? There is a podcast for you called Women's Wealth, and it's brought to you by CM Trading. Now, if you are an aspiring investor, seasoned professional, or simply just curious about building financial independence, this particular podcast is for you. Make sure you tune in. We will be on YouTube right there. Just look for Women's Wealth on TV on YouTube. That's Women's Wealth on TV. We'll be exploring investment strategies, personal finance tips, and stories of triumph against all odds. Of course, we'll have some expert advice on navigating the financial markets and making informed decisions as well. Can't wait to help you out, especially as you start your journey into trading and, of course, your journey into financial freedom. Make sure you subscribe to Women's Wealth TV podcast as soon as you can so you do not miss a single episode. All right, then, once again, my name is Titilayo Oyinso. Until we come your way next time, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.